SMX Facts Time. We bring in our statistician, Clinton Fowler. Clinton, I feel like you've been sitting on this one, waiting to finally justify. We're here. We have a great rookie season in our midst. Break this down a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to put it out there too early and jinx him, but what an incredible rookie season by Jett Lawrence. And the first thing we've got to comment on, he is one of 3 rookies to win 3 in a row. And we're not talking 3 total races. We're talking 3 in a row. So back to back to back. The 2 others that have done it, you've got Jeremy McGrath in 1993 in his rookie season, and then you got Chad Reed in 2003. Impressive. He did 6 in a row to finish that 2003 season. Just impressive outing so far. JT, what makes it so difficult to win consecutive races?
Well, I think you start to galvanize the field around you. Everybody wants to be the guy that stops the streak, and they all start focusing on you as a rider versus the rest of the field entirely. So I think when you get into one-on-one battles, you just put a little bit of bullseye on your back, and you have to do everything perfectly. But the one thing I would add that most of these guys don't have experience with is Jett went 22-0 last summer. So he knows what this feels like to have the pressure of winning time after time after time. So maybe that gives him a little bit of an edge that many other riders, like say Jeremy McGrath in 1993, didn't have.
McGrath did have a couple of those win streaks in 93, and he did win the title. So I know we're only just past the halfway mark, but Clinton, JT, and I said at the very top of this show, you cannot get 3 more symbolic wins than Jett Lawrence just got. So I don't think it's too early to start talking best rookie seasons overall. How is this starting to stack up?
You know, Weege, I think you're spot on there. I think this is starting to stack up to compare to the best ever. To me, the Jeremy McGrath 1993 season has to be the high water mark. Obviously, folks will debate that, but 10 wins, 12 podiums in 16 races, impressive. He finished once outside of the top 5, and that wasn't until the final round where he got a 9th in Vegas. So impressive season. But the thing that I think we're going to debate, assuming that Jett keeps this going, right, and that's a big assumption, guys, is McGrath went up against one other prior champion and then 4 riders with 37 wins. Jett's going up against 4 former champions and 7 riders that have 125 wins combined. So pretty different in terms of the depth of those that have won championships and won wins. But again, Jett's got to finish out the season here and get a few more wins to match those 10 wins. So JT, what do you think? Do you think it matches? Do you think he's on pace to matching McGrath's 93 season?
I think he's on pace, right? We still have to see what the numbers pencil out to be. But to me, a big difference here is the expectation. When Jeremy McGrath caught fire, nobody was really expecting him to do what he did. So week after week, it was like, wow, he's still doing it. He's really going to run off with this championship. Everybody was looking at Jett going into Anaheim 1 thinking, this guy could be the champion, and he wins the opening round and kind of solidifies that expectation. So I think, it's kind of in the perception is really where this argument may end up being, because the Jeremy McGrath thing was such a surprise on so many levels.
It's tough with McGrath. He's the king of Supercross. He has all the records. He's the best Supercross rider we've ever seen. So it seems crazy to me that I'm actually saying that this might not be as good as what we're seeing right now. But also on the show, JT and I are talking about, was Ken Roczen as hyped as Jett Lawrence? And Ken Roczen was hyped a ton, but maybe Lawrence was hyped even more. Knowing how that 93 season transpired, Clinton, Jeff Stanton has admitted he was kind of burnt out at that point. Jean-Michel Bell, who was champ a year before that, was retired. Damon Bradshaw was starting to want out of the sport as well. What sticks out to me to your numbers, I think it proves it. These guys are going at Jett with everything they have. These guys are still strong. These guys are still good. It's not just the numbers. It's how good everybody else is. And he's still doing it to them. That's what surprises me the most. What about the total amount of wins he could get here? How is that going to stack up?
Yeah, I mean, he's got 5 wins right now. If he can hit that 10-win mark of McGrath, now he's got 7 rounds to get 5 more to tie him. He'd need to win 6 to beat him. That's a tall order, especially as we're heading to Seattle. And I'm sure, JT, you've seen the forecast here. But I don't know. I think he's got the potential to get that 10. He's just going to have to make sure he doesn't commit any of those early season mistakes, which he seems to have cleaned up, Weege.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get to 11, but 5 out of 7, 10 total, matching McGrath. I think he gets there, or he can get there. I think he gets there. JT, I think you were going under that mark. What do you think?
Well, I think he's turned a corner on understanding how to go about winning these races. He doesn't have to force the issue. I think he's got his starts figured out, which is such a critical part of this story as well. I think the difference will come down to the final couple of rounds. How does he approach? If he goes in with a 30-plus point lead into Denver, into Salt Lake, how does he approach those? Does he go about his business just like Chase Sexton did, go out and win the finale? Or does he lay up a little bit, let things unfold, and maybe settle for a third or a fourth? I do think he'll win more races. The number is going to come down to his approach, because I believe he can win. It's just how much risk is he willing to assume to do it?
Well, you know what's interesting, JT? The Lawrence camp just reached out to me asking about rookie seasons and all-time rookie seasons and who's got the most. So clearly they're thinking about it and starting to set goals and work towards what that number is for Jett this year.
Ooh, okay. Well, that might tell a lot of the story right there. If they're thinking about it, then you know they're going to be going for it. All right, everybody, we are headed to Seattle. Hopefully you're there with us in person. If not, remember, again, we've adjusted the schedule for the broadcast and the live shows for the Western rounds this year. So Race Day Live will begin at 2:30 Eastern, and the racing will start at 8 Eastern. That's 5 o'clock out in Seattle.
Hi, folks. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.